Hi everyone, my name is Onion, and for this video I will be sharing how I edit my videos for YouTube and TikTok. The video editing software I use is DaVinci Resolve 17 because 1, it's fucking free, and 2, it has everything you could possibly need to edit dumb videos like I do. I hope this video is helpful and I love you. Okay, bye. So when you first open up DaVinci, you will see your project manager window, and this just holds all the different projects that you are currently working on. We are going to select new project, give it a name, and then click create. And now you are in DaVinci. Now going over the interface of DaVinci, at the very bottom you'll see these pages that specialize in different steps of the editing process. And DaVinci designed it in a way where you start on the left of importing your media and you follow each page until you get to the end of delivering or rendering your video. So media focuses on importing and organizing your media files such as your videos, photos, and audio. And then the cut and edit page, they are pretty similar. They just have different interfaces. Cut is the more efficient page, and then edit is the more traditional page. Fusion focuses on motion graphics and visual effects. Color focuses on color correction and manipulation. Fairlight is sound editing, and Deliver is rendering and saving your video. As a beginner, the pages you really want to focus on are the cut and or edit, whichever you prefer, or you can use both, and the deliver page. So for the cut page, on the top left, you'll see this window and it's dependent upon which tab you're selected on. So you have media pool, sync bin, transitions, titles, and effects. In the middle, you have your video viewer. On the right, you want to click inspector and it opens up your inspector page, which is basically your toolbox for your video, audio effects, all of these edits. In the middle, you have your upper timeline, which shows your video from beginning to end. And at the bottom, you have your lower timeline, which is just a zoomed in version of your timeline. So the first thing you want to do when editing your video is you want to set your project settings. You're going to go to File, Project Settings, and the settings you want to focus on are your resolution as well as your frame rate. For YouTube videos, you can keep it at 1920 by 1080, and then for TikTok, you want to change it to 1080 by 1920. For your frame rate, you want to change it depending on what your media uses. So mine typically is 60 frames per second. And you're going to click Save. So next you want to import media. Make sure you're in Media Pool and right click this blank window and click Import Media. Select the files you want and click Open. Then you're going to drag the video you want onto your timeline to create your first track. Before we move on, we're going to go over some basics of editing for those that might not have experience editing videos. To navigate through your timeline, you can click on your timeline ruler to jump through your video. And if you want to be more time specific, you can go to your lower timeline. You can left click and hold this ruler and move your mouse left to right. To split a clip into two, you want to click on the clip you want to split, right click and hit split, or a shortcut you can do is Control B. If you want to lengthen one clip, you're going to hover toward the end until you see that one bracket. You're going to left click and hold and then shorten or lengthen depending on what you're looking for. If you want to shorten one clip and lengthen one clip adjacent to it, you're going to hover toward the split until you find that 2 bracket, left click and hold, and then move it accordingly. To make edits to one clip, you're going to select the clip, and then you can either use this guy right here or your inspector tab. So you can do all these effects on your video clip and all these effects on your audio clip. For these boxes, you can input a number or you can left click and hold and move your mouse left or right. And then before I mentioned that we made our first track, so tracks are a form of layering and editing. The first track is at the very back of the video, and depending on how many tracks you add, the largest numbered track is the very front of the video. So to add a track, you're going to right click this blank space on the lower timeline and click Add Track. So now we have 2 tracks. Anything on the second track will cover the things on the first track. And because of this, the first track is typically the main media track for your videos. And on the left, you'll see these icons. If you click on it, it'll lock the track, mute the track, or disable the track. Or if you want to just mute a portion of your video, you can right click and click mute. To use these up here, for transitions, you're going to left click and hold and place it where you want your transition. For titles, you're just going to treat these text boxes as media and place it where you want it to start and end. For effects, you just drag the effect you want onto the clip. And then to make changes to your effects, you can go and click on the effects tab right here and then make the changes you would like. If you want to disable the effect, you can click this, or if you want to just delete it, you can delete that. To delete any media you don't want, you're just going to click on the clip and click delete. And same for transitions. So hopefully that's it for the basics, but I probably forgot some things and I apologize. I'm sorry. I love you. So we're going to continue editing process. We are going to start trimming out the clips we don't need in our video. I'm going to scroll through and find my starting point. Once I have my starting point, I'm just going to split it and then delete the earlier clip because we don't need that anymore. Now I'm going to find my endpoint and then delete the clip after because we don't need that. And then if there are any parts in between your starting and ending point that you want to delete, you're just going to split both ends and then cut it out. Beginning point, I'm going to split, and then I'm going to find the end point of the clip I want to trim. And then I'm going to split there and then delete this middle clip. So let's say these are all the clips I want in my video and we are ready to start using Inspector. So for my TikTok videos, I typically like having at least 3 tracks, sometimes up to 12 or more. And that's because the first track is my gameplay. The second is my webcam that I want to be playing over my gameplay. And the third are my captions, which I want to cover both my webcam and my gameplay. So I want my webcam to be the same clips playing at the same time. So to do that, I'm just going to copy the gameplay track. And you want to make sure you're not pasting your video right in the middle of your clip, or else it's just going to insert that whole clip into that point in time. You're going to want to make sure you're at the end or beginning of the video, so if you paste it, it's not interfering with these clips. You're going to drag it onto the second track and make sure it's at the same time. And I'm going to go ahead and mute the webcam track. So I typically like having my webcam right here on a TikTok video or in the middle. So I'm just going to zoom it in, position it, and then crop it accordingly. I'm going to select, zoom in, position it, and then crop. And then for my gameplay, I typically like having my gameplay cover the whole screen. So I'm going to select it and then zoom it in until it's covered. And if I want my gameplay to be a little bit smaller and then having that blur effect, we're going to copy our webcam, move our webcam up because we want that to be above our gameplay, and then paste. With this new track, you're going to revert the settings by clicking on this and then zoom it in to what you would like it to be. And then to apply the blurry effect to the bottom or the first track, you're going to select the first track, go to effects, and I like using Gaussian blur. I'm going to drag it onto my selected clips. And then you can go to effects and make it even more blurry if you want. But I'm going to stick to the other way for this video. And honestly, you could post like this. Like this already looks like a TikTok. It's fucking insane. But let's say we want to add some subtitles. You're going to find where you start talking and then click on this text and drag it to that starting point. Split right where you stop talking. And then you're going to make the changes in your inspector window. So I say, oh, I like extra bold. I like yellow for myself. I like it a little smaller, more squished together. I want to position it over here. You can add an outline or a drop shadow by offsetting it, or a background like that. For this, I'm going to do just the drop shadow and call that good. So I talk again right after. So I'm just going to copy and paste this versus starting from the beginning again. And then Justin talks right after. And I think for Justin's, I'm going to make it say watch out and then U-Haul versus having it all start at the same time. So to do that, I added another track. I split it right where he says U-Haul. I'm going to move this up and then extend this to end right where he stops talking. He says watch out, and then this one should say U-Haul, and then I'll change the position of this one. And then for fun, I'm also going to add a picture of a U-Haul. So I'm going to add another track, and now you can start seeing how it can become a lot of tracks. But I'm going to import a U-Haul, and then I'm going to drag it right where he says U-Haul and split it. And then I'm going to position it. And just remember that you can apply transitions and effects onto the text or pictures. So let's say I want to add that one. And now all my subtitles and pictures look like this. Oh, Say we added all the subtitles we want and we are ready to start adding effects. So I think the best way to apply effects is that you divide your video into smaller clips depending on where you want the effects to take place. So I split them into smaller clips. Let's say I want the green one to be those general preset effects and the orange ones to be those motion effects. Under effects, there's so many different ones you can play with. I typically use camera shake, dent, and vortex. So dent is the big brain, small brain, and vortex is the swirl. I'm going to drag dent onto the clip, then go to effects, click type 2, that's the one I like, and then position it to give myself the biggest fucking brain. And you can layer effects as well, so I'm going to put the vortex one, click on vortex, and then move it. And then you know what? Let's add a camera shake for fun. Okay, I wasn't really liking the big brain, so I'm just gonna turn that off. Looks like that. So effects are pretty self-explanatory. It's more of the motion effects that get pretty tricky. So with motion, I'm sure there's way easier ways to do it in Fusion, but I do it this way. In simple terms, these diamonds indicate these settings. So your transform settings, your cropping settings at this point in time. So right now they're grayed out because you're not changing the settings for this clip. It doesn't move. So something you want to make sure is that you want to have at least 2 points in time where you have these diamonds set. Because if you only have one, your position is not moving. It's not moving from one position to another. If you have 2 set of diamonds, then you are moving from one position to another. And there will be motion in your video. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know. So let's say for this clip, you want to zoom in. I like to go close to the beginning or end of the video. I never go toward the end because it's hard to see. You're at that really small point in time where the effect doesn't take place. So I just go a little past it. I'm going to set my diamonds just by clicking that first diamond because I want the starting position to be right here. And then I'm going to scroll to the end. I want it to be super zoomed in, so I'm going to click on those diamonds and set those settings. So now if you play it, it'll zoom in. Now, it can get complicated. Let's say right here, I want it to be the starting position. In the middle, I want it to move to the right. And then at the end, I want it to zoom in. So we're going to go to the middle point, set another set of diamonds, and then play it. So if you really wanted to, you could change the position of your webcam at every point, which is kind of where I get that tracking effect. So let's say for some reason, I want my face to be on Chamber's body. We're going to go to effects and drag transform onto our clip. Under advanced, you're going to maximize your rounding and then go to video and change the position to be just my face. You're going to have to play with it a little bit. Let's say that's good. Go back to effects, soften it a little bit, and then you can change its position. So let's say, and then now we can start setting it on every frame. We're going to start at the beginning. We're going to set those diamonds, and you want to make sure that you're clicking the diamonds or else you're just moving your face for the entire clip. We're going to set my face and then move it a little bit. Move my face, move forward. And let's see how that looks. Oh my God, it's so bad. You can go through and fix it up a little bit, like right there. It's a little off. Okay, I'll fix it. And then as one more example, I have my camera zoom out. So I'm just going to set it right there. And then at the very end of the video, I'm going to set it off screen. And let's see if it's a fast zoom or a slow zoom. Oh, it's a slow zoom. So with motion effects, there's so many things you can do with it. It's one of my favorite effects, if you didn't know. But let's say that our video is impeccable, amazing, incredible, has everything we want. We are ready to render and save it. We're going to click deliver, and then we're going to name it. And these are the settings that I use. And I'm going to click add to render queue. Click save, and then render all, baby. So let's see how that video looks.
Oh, please.
Oh God, oh no. Oh no. So dumb. so that's how I edit my videos. I hope you regret asking me how I do it. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'm happy to answer them to the best of my ability. But I really hope it was helpful. If not, I feel so fucking stupid. But thank you. I love you all so much, and love you. Bye.